Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I got a little bit of a surprise. Those of you who've seen a couple of shorts know that it's not too much of a surprise, but I bought a 1965 Travelall. I've had my eyes on it for about a decade. I saw it parked in a yard over in a section of town that I tend to drive through relatively frequently. I approached him about 2 months ago and asked him if he would consider selling it, and he said yes, and he gave me a price, and I gathered up the money and I went and bought it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Big Larry, aka the Great Pumpkin. It's sitting on 35s, which are starting to crack because this thing sat and hasn't run in about 8 years. We can come and look at these cracks right there. Yeah, you can see that. Fenders were cut in the rear at some point, which are going to require some welding. We've got a little bit of rust here. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of rust here. That's the ground. So I'll be fabricating a floor pan in there. I got it running, and then fuel lines started leaking. So I fixed the fuel lines and installed a new filter. And then the fuel pump started gushing. Way down in there, you can see the fuel pump right here. There goes our local four-wheeler. He's kind of noisy. All of the glass is good except for this one crack right here. I don't know if you can see it. I can hardly see it. Anyway, a couple little dents, you know, here in this quarter. Right there, you can actually see through the vehicle, so I got to patch that up. I enjoyed that. These doors in the back here are a little janky, not closing properly, but they still work. There's a power steering pump, the roof liner. You can see the insulation up there, all these braces. The liner is destroyed. I have a pair of doors in there, extra pair of doors. There's my fan shroud, another intake manifold, some battery trays. This here is a plywood floor that runs all the way up to behind that seat. I love these old lights. Here we go, we got some mismatched seats. We get the black one on the front's really nice. This one's got a little bit of wear on it, but it's still in really good shape. Most of the floor in here is in good shape. I apologize for the mess, but I've started cleaning it and doing work on it, and I'm just keeping things in it for now. The latch on this door is a little funky, but you can get it to work if you're careful. More mess. I'm not even sure what that part is yet. This is my emergency brake, which needs to be attached. I've got a faceplate for the old radio here, and that radio, there's a CB. I haven't really gotten to any of this stuff yet. The outside was super oxidized and also had mildew, moldy type stuff. It's Travelall. So I scrubbed it off, kind of buffed it, waxed it, polished it. It's shinier now and it looks a lot better, but you know, it's not perfect. It's a 4-speed manual, 4-wheel drive, mostly original. We've got a tachometer that's not. Had to install a new ignition switch, and in the process this wire, which was hooked up to the accessory side, started smoking. We had a first startup video rolling, but the fire threw us off and then we stopped recording. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with the Travelall yet. Like, am I going to keep it as it is and just get it dependable, or am I going to do a somewhat of a restoration on it? I'm not exactly sure. I got a lot to think about. You know, I got this winch, which is cool, but it needs to be rebuilt. Somebody cut the grill to put in these lights, and one of which is missing. It's got a custom fabricated bumper from the previous owner, which is pretty burly, but I don't really care for the approach angle. I'd like it up higher and a little closer into the vehicle. This Travelall used to be owned by Missoula County, and it was a road maintenance vehicle. I assume it had a plow on it because of these slices here. There's one here and one there, and I assume whatever they had on there for a plow, they had to modify it a little bit. The only thing I haven't really polished up is the front clip because of all the junk that's in it. Yeah, so I sit here sputtering, trying to find words. There's a lot to do. I'm interested in doing most of it. I think one of my next deals is getting up here and fixing the gutters and sealing that up, getting door seals on, because there's basically none. And it poured rain last night. We had some weeping down at the door corners, and in this front side you can see it's got a lot more moisture. It's really holding it, so it's coming in through here. The gutters come and then it just pours down, so I'll have to put some sort of a block there, a little dam maybe of caulk, to try and push the water from going in, and then also get some new door seals on to push that water out of there. Winter's coming and I don't really know what'll be happening. I was told that underneath here it's sitting on a Dana 70 in the rear and a Dana 60 in the front. It's got this double leaf sprung thing, which I don't know a lot about. Looks a little funky. And then the front, where the Dana 60 is, it's also leaf sprung, which I've never driven a vehicle that had leaf springs in the front before. I haven't driven this vehicle yet. It was brought here with a tow truck because the owner didn't want me wrenching on it in his yard. I've only had it a few days. I think I got it Wednesday and today is Sunday. Fuel tank is in the fender, which that line leaks when you fill it up. I took it off and modified it, but they didn't have anything that really worked, and so my modification leaks a little too. I put some fuel resistant sealer on there. Got some surface rust. We'll climb up here and look on the roof. You can see it's pretty clear. There's a little ding there and some surface rust over on that side, but nothing serious. So for being a 65, it's in pretty good shape. I know that it's been sitting in the spot for the last 10 years. Custom bumper on the back, which I think I'm going to round off, put a section of pipe inside here